Okay, this is breaking news here. At least in my mind, it's breaking news. Huffington Post. This is the Huffington Post. Listen to this. Netanyahu tells Obama to drop dead. Now, it looks like this is the actual quote. Drop dead, Obama. This is what it means to the Jews because their backs are against the wall, and they're telling them to stop building the settlements and to split Jerusalem. This is really what Obama's telling what Obama's telling Netanyahu is, hey, we want you to agree to lay down, let the Palestinians have their own state within Israel, in the heart of Israel, which is Jerusalem. This is where it's all leading. And Netanyahu turns to Obama and says, drop dead. Prime Minister Netanyahu sent a clear message to President Obama when he ignored the U.S. request to extend the settlement freeze to keep the U.S.-sponsored negotiations going. It was drop dead. His statement came in his decision to end the settlement freeze, which the Palestinians have said must be extended if they were to keep negotiating. Prime Minister Abbas says that he has not decided what to do now. As someone who favors negotiations, including with Hamas, I have a hard time arguing that Abbas should walk away. However, it is hard to imagine Palestinians negotiating while Israel is gobbling up the land they are supposedly negotiating over. Moreover, Israel's position is utterly hypocritical. Israel is notorious for establishing conditions on negotiations. For instance, it says it won't negotiate with Hamas unless and until Hamas ends all violence, recognizes Israel, and accepts all agreements previously agreed to by the Palestinian Authority. In the 15 years since Oslo, it placed condition after condition, even on actions it pledged to implement. One could write a book on the history of Israel's conditions on everything. Now, I don't really agree with that. I think that they do need to recognize Israel as a state. They need to end violence against Israel, and they must accept their agreements that were previously agreed upon. If they do not keep their end of the bargain, obviously Israel is not going to keep its end of the bargain. So, Abbas, on the other hand, has one condition. It is that Israel not build on the very land they are negotiating about, and Israel says, no way. This is ridiculous. The United States should step in with a map and tell the two sides that Israel can build wherever it wants in the areas that will remain Israel. Pre-1967 lines with modifications and land swaps. And the Palestinians should start building their state in the rest. West Bank, Gaza, East Jerusalem. Oh my goodness. Why should they listen? Simple. Israel receives more aid from the United States by far than any other country in the world and cannot survive without our aid and support. Palestinians will never have a state if the United States opposes Palestinian aspirations. It is time for the United States to act like a superpower it claims to be. This conflict is jeopardizing our interests, most significantly the security of our men and women in uniform throughout the region. The long-term survival of Israel, our access to Middle East oil, and our relations with the entire Muslim world. The U.S. cannot afford to continue to treat Israel the way a guilty parent treats a spoiled, rotten child. Yes, the lobby will scream, and so will its cutouts in Congress. So what? The President of the United States cannot be rolled on foreign policy without his consent. A president who sticks to his guns, as Obama did not do the last time he fought Israel over settlements, will prevail. Remember Ronald Reagan, late in 1982 Lebanon War. He finally was appalled by Israel's saturation bombing of Beirut. He picked up the phone and told Prime Minister Menachem Begin to end it now. Begin started arguing, but Reagan said, now. Begin immediately called off his bombers. Right-wing Israelis think that they can cross Obama because he is in political trouble. They are wrong. Even if the GOP takes Congress, and even if Obama is only president for 2 more years, which is unlikely, Israel will need the support of its ally the life and lifeline for those 2 years. Obama holds all the cards, if only he acted like it. See, now this is the Huffington Post, obviously. Totally liberal, against Israel, his interests, and doesn't understand and wants Obama to take his control like the good Antichrist would. I think they've got it wrong. Obama will succeed in the next election. There is going to be a major false flag cataclysmic event that's going to rally the public behind Obama, and he's going to rise as the world leader that he is, been anointed to be by the powers that be in this world. Obama will arise and bring and promise peace and hope and unity of all nations under one ruler, under one organization, possibly the UN, with himself being the head. And he is the first one that has opposed Israel. And Obama will oppose Israel, and he already is opposing. He's setting the stage to oppose Israel. He is not an Israeli lackey like many think that he is. He actually is setting the stage for this Israeli Palestinian negotiated, enforced peace that is being overseen by the UN. Unilateral negotiations being pushed upon Israel by the United Nations. They're telling Israel, this is what you must do. This is what's been happening over the last 2 to 3 months or longer. I think it's been the last 4 months that these negotiations have been going on in spite of Israel's protests. So now Netanyahu is basically thumbing his nose back at Obama, and Obama is trying to look like the lamb in these negotiations, so that the world will begin to come behind Obama as he enforces his will upon Israel. And it's not just Obama's will; it is the will of the nations. It is the will of the world, because the world will all be set against Israel, and that's what the book of Revelation teaches us. So Obama is setting himself in the place of being the enforcer of the will of the world, the nations of the world upon Israel, because it says that in the latter days that Israel would be a stone that would make men stumble. It would be a cup of trembling to the nations. Israel would be the cup of trembling, and that would be the beginning of Jacob's troubles. And this is where we're at right now, people. We're entering into the time of the depth of Jacob's troubles, where the nations will tremble. Israel would become a cup of trembling. And only the Antichrist can begin to bring about that peace treaty and break it at a certain period in time. Now, this peace treaty has been going on for quite some time. But when this peace treaty is broken, we will know that it is at the time of Jacob's troubles, in the midst of the tribulation. We're there, guys. We're close. Where we're at on that timeline, it's only up to those who have insight and understand the book of Revelation and the book of prophecies of Daniel. But we are there right now. And I believe that it's unfolding before our very eyes. God bless you all.